Welcome to the RSI Trade of the Day. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. You guys, the Victoria's Secret trade that we tried to put out on Friday, it looked like it was starting to creep up higher and higher and higher, and looked like it was going to get to our level. Unfortunately, it never got to our entry price, and then it got a little bit of a flush out. It's kind of chopping sideways earlier in the pre-market. So I still like that 2707 level on Victoria's Secret. I'll show you that it still has a potential to move to the upside and still tag that higher pivot level, which would institute a pretty significant pullback. And then if you look at the RSI on the daily time frame, it is also showing that it's slightly overbought. So on the daily time frame, it's looking ready to pull back as well after a little bit of a push higher. So let's go ahead and just go over the RSI recap. So here's the chart of Victoria's Secret. I had mentioned on Thursday, they had this great price action with Victoria's Secret decided it wanted to head higher. And then towards the end of the day, it did get a little bit of a sell-off. However, Victoria's Secret's sorry, let me start over. Here's where price action was on Thursday. It headed higher. So did the price action of Victoria's Secrets. Then on Friday, it continued to head a little bit higher, a little bit of a pullback. It looked like it was going to get up to this 2707 level where I had that pivot point on the daily time frame. It did get a little bit of a pullback around 1:50, 2 o'clock. However, because it got lower, but the price action, if you notice, it was about a 3% pullback. Not a huge move on the back of the price action. So for me, this still signals more upside. You switch to the daily time frame, you still have this high pivot point right here at 2707. This isn't a major pivot. This is more of a minor pivot. But as you can see, when price action gets back to this level, it should get rejected because this is where price action at one point got rejected. And so once it gets back up there again, it's going to be rejected again. And then if we switch to the daily time frame, which we are in now, it is getting back above the 70 on the relative strength index here with price action kind of moving a little bit more. So that's what I like to see when price action is heading higher with volatility. And then the relative strength index is also providing some volatility. That is a stock that I like to look at for a potential trade. All right, let's go ahead and go into additional chart setups. So here's a chart setup of Lululemon. Let's go ahead and switch to the 1 minute time frame. Lululemon actually started, had a nice pop on Friday. You got a good 7% move to the upside. Look at what happened with the relative strength index, though. The relative strength index started around the 4, headed higher, but it barely got to the 50, hung out here as price action started heading lower. Then it stayed below the 70 as price action headed lower, and then finally dipped below the 30 again. So for me, this is telling me that buyers tried to step in, but it couldn't get enough buyers invested, enough sentiment to go positive with the relative strength index above the 70 to switch this from a selling pressure to buying pressure. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the daily time frame. Look at this. Lululemon fell off a cliff. It was down over 20% at one time. So if it gets down to $154.86, which I think it's likely to do, you've got this gap fill that's sitting right here at $154.86. For me, this is a huge drop to the downside on Lululemon, but this is where my trade of the day is going to be $154.86. So keep your eyes on this level, and we'll get back into another reason why I like that chart. All right, let's go ahead and go to GDX. I had been covering this a couple different times. Look at what happened to GDX. GDX is now piercing that double top at $66.90. This, for me, is a great opportunity to enter a short. It could go up to $70. This would be, for me, the max upside for the GDX chart. So take a look at it, you guys. On the daily time frame, actually, you got to zoom out to the weekly time frame. Look at this double top. I was talking about minor pivots on Victoria's Secret. This is a major pivot where you got this huge sell-off on GDX. And now when price action gets up here, it's obviously not getting rejected now, but gold is at all-time highs. This is just barely breaching the all-time highs. So for me, this is a good short opportunity with a possibility of it going all the way to 70. All right. CRDO was another one that I was looking at. Volatility on the relative strength index, volatility in the price action. So CRDO, I still like $150.30 as price action heads higher. This is going to be a key resistance level, especially with this upsloping trend line. If it retags it again, if price action heads up, this would be a great shorting opportunity. All right. And so I'd mentioned gold a while ago as well. Look at gold, similar price action of GDX in the last couple weeks or so. Gold is getting overextended. It is now at 78 on the daily time frame. For me, gold needs to pull back. You've got this pivot right here that it goes through and connects through this minor pivot area, gets rejected right here. Finally, when price action gets above it, you see how much support this trend line is. So what's likely to happen is gold's going to get a pullback. And based on the amount of times that this upsloping trend line has been hit, it favors a move to the downside. It's likely to come back and retest this $3,120 level just because this is a minor pivot on the way down. And that would likely get the relative strength index to right about 43 or could even get down to 41 on the RSI. Okay. So I do like gold for a short opportunity here. So a couple different ways you can play it. You could either play it with GLL, or if you're really aggressive, you can use DUST. Now, this is a 2 times leverage inverse ETF for gold. So this one I would be a little bit more cautious on just because of the fact that it does degrade twice as fast. All right, the other one they were looking at, Google. I did mention that a Pierce of 235 on Friday would have been a great opportunity. Look at what happened. It pierced 235. It actually got above 235, got to 235.76. And then from that level, got a decent pullback, about a $3-4 pullback from the highs. So had you gotten in at 235, you could have taken about $2.5-3 on this trade. I decided to stay away from it just because the relative strength index, let me go ahead and remove this trend line, clear this up. The relative strength index stayed pretty strong, and I was anticipating it going even higher. But now, if you were to ask me where my next resistance level is, it would be at $240. So if Google gets up to $240, for me, that's a great opportunity to short. ENPH is another strong stock. Look at what happened on Friday. You did get you had the strong relative strength index. It did get below the 30 on ENPH. However, it was for ENPH can really move. So for me, this is still signaling that it's strong and it's due for a move to the upside. So let's go ahead and jump to the daily time frame to see where the next resistance level is. This resistance, or excuse me, this chart is at the lower ends or the price action. So I would actually be interested in a possible shorting opportunity at this gap fill at $42.43. All right. So for me, this would be a great opportunity for a short if it can get all the way up to $42.50. All right. Now let me go. I do have Lucid that I wanted to talk about. I had no, sorry, not Lucid. Sorry, let's go back to Lulu. I just had a brain fart right there. There was a electric car company that I had mentioned the other day that is doing really well on the back of It never got to our entry price, but then the next day it bounced like 20%, and I was going to go over that. I'll cover that tomorrow. I'll get my head around the trade, but let's go ahead and just jump into the Lululemon trade. So here's my entry price. If Lululemon gets down to $154.86, again, that is my relative strength index trade of the day. That would be a significant drop from this lows, about another 7% lower on the back of the earnings again, but this gap fill is too good for me to pass up. So again, my trade of the day is 154.86 with a stop out level at a closing price, a 15-minute closing basis below our entry price. And you would be looking for about a 3 to 5% bounce. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I'll get you guys that stock ticker, the electric car manufacturer that I was thinking of that just kind of slipped my mind, caused an awkward silence, even for me. Apologize for that. Gareth Soloway is going to be going live in just under 4 minutes or just under 5 minutes. If you guys like what you see, please like, subscribe, ring that bell so you can get notified at 8:45 every day the market is open. So you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys next time in the charts. Take care.
Hey guys, Lawton here with Verified Investing, back with another video from Kinesis. Thank you so much to Kinesis for sponsoring this video. So going onto the homepage, you can see that I'm logged in to Kinesis.money, and I want to highlight something I really think is cool. You guys know that I'm a trader, a pro trader here at Verified Investing. And did you know Kinesis gives you another way to trade? That's right. You're able to directly trade on the Kinesis platform and earn physical gold and silver while doing so. You can see here their trading platform and their charting platform is actually integrated with TradingView. That means the same charts that I'm used to using, that Gareth is used to using, that all of us here at Verified Investing are totally accessible for you to use. So this is a seamless transition if you want to chart on here. You can even see the order books and the history. Right. So if I want to put in a trade, I can put in the price in USD or the amount in KAU as one of their pairings. I can set a limit order, stop limit, trailing stop, whatever I want here. And I can do good till cancel or fill or kill or whatever else I need. Additionally, I can see all of my orders down here. Going on the left side, I can see all the different pairings that Kinesis has on their exchange, such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Really, really cool. So not only is it a platform that lets you earn money and earn physical gold for doing anything. If you're trading cryptocurrency anyways, Kinesis could be an option for you as well. Kinesis is really cool, and there's way too much just to talk about in one video. But if you want to learn more about Kinesis, go ahead and check them out in the link in the description. Thank you so much to Kinesis for sponsoring this video, and see you guys next time.